These are 10 of Cleveland Brown's most underrated moments, starting with the time he got his butt handed to him by his young son in the Cleveland Show episode Skip Day. So the high schoolers are celebrating Skip Day, a time-honored tradition where everyone collectively decides to give a middle finger to academia.
There is one student who will avoid the wrath of the finger of shame.
I wonder who that could be.
Why didn't you tell me Junior went to school yesterday?
I wasn't here. It was Skip Day.
This just in, Cleveland Jr. is a huge nerd. More breaking obvious news at 11.
I don't want you to follow anybody else's rules. I want you to be a renegade.
So Cleveland's plan to make Junior cool is to get him to not follow the rules. That might be an issue because following rules is probably Junior's favorite pastime.
Just go to bed.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, dang it, Junior. It's only 6:30.
So it looks like he'll have to learn to stand up to authority the hard way.
Fight me!
I'm not gonna fight you!
Come on!
But after enough prodding, Junior takes his place at the top of the food chain. Every son overtakes their dad someday, though I don't think it's always this brutal.
Well, one lucky punch does not...
Yeah, it might be over for you, Cleveland. Time to pack up your things and start a new life. Again. So obviously, tensions are now at an all-time high in the Brown household.
Let's see you try to hit me when I got my dukes up.
Not sure which is more pathetic, trying to beat up your son or getting your butt handed to you by said son. After getting beat up enough times, Cleveland comes to realize the situation he's in.
With each year, Junior gets stronger, and I just get weaker.
I mean, yeah, that is how the passage of time works, but it doesn't make getting beat up by your circle-shaped son any less funny. With Cleveland now feeling old, decrepit, and embarrassed, Cleveland Jr. takes it upon himself to make things right.
I told everyone at school and everyone in town that my daddy beat me up. Broken arm, too. Wink, wink.
Well, his big dumb heart was in the right place.
We got a report that you beat up your son.
Yep, he kicked my ass.
Well, I'm sure Cleveland will have a great time in prison. Abusers are notoriously treated very well there. And as the new man of the house, Junior takes it upon himself to save him.
Oh, Daddy, you don't belong in jail. I should be the only man kissing you goodnight.
But his attempts to reason with the police don't fly. Saying you actually wanted to get beat up, surprisingly, does not make you look like less of a victim.
Just cooperate with us and we'll see to it that your father is locked up for a very long time.
Do you think showing them you can beat up your dad would be enough to let him go?
Uh-oh.
Give me my daddy!
I guess committing a felony works too. The father and son duo get into a high-speed pursuit and Cleveland admires Junior for finally becoming cool. So all you gotta do is reach for a cop's gun? I'll have to give that a try sometime.
All this time I thought I was teaching you, but it was you who was...
Teaching?
Forget the high-speed chase, Junior's gonna be late for school. So the pair drive to the high school just before the bell rings. That boy's priorities are all over the place.
I think we can all agree that anyone would have ended up in the same situation if their son had gone to school on Skip Day.
You mean getting physically overpowered and humiliated by them? Not so sure about that, but a little more humiliation wouldn't hurt.
Friends?
I won't say this was Cleveland's greatest moment, but it was one of his most pathetic, and sometimes that can be just as enjoyable to watch. But Cleveland would briefly leave his dwindling life in Stool Bend behind to join the gang on a wild adventure to uncover the source of all dirty jokes in the episode The Splendid Source. So Quagmire kicks things off with a dirty joke that's so funny it causes Peter to have a little accident.
P.S. Your vagina's in the sink.
Oh God, I pooped my pants.
I think the expression is usually that you pee from laughing, but of course Peter's got to take it that one step further. So Joe and Quagmire keep telling jokes to exploit Peter's, let's say, condition.
Who's texting me? Damn it!
Personally, Peter, I'd be more concerned that you have one in the chamber ready to fire off at any given moment. See a doctor, man. Peter gets him to quit by wearing Quagmire's pants, but now he's dying to know where Quagmire heard the joke.
Bruce told it to me.
No way Bruce came up with that.
What are you talking about, Peter? Bruce is the funniest guy on the show. They should have given him the spin-off. It would have made a Bruce zillion dollars. So they go to ask Bruce about it, and it turns out the joke has quite a history.
Bruce had heard it from Consuela. Consuela heard it from Mayor West. West heard it from Dr. Hartman.
The trail ends at a bar in Virginia, but they're supposed to be going on a vacation to Maine with the wives in the morning.
Maybe the joke doesn't have a source.
Don't be stupid. Somebody had to have made it up, and we're gonna find out who.
If only you had a friend in Virginia who could look into it for you, someone you definitely haven't forgotten about for like 4 seasons. So the guys divert their trip to Virginia, where they finally get in contact with the bartender.
I remember that. I heard it from that guy.
Cleveland?
Wow, what a 1 in a million chance of running into him in the town where he lives and in the bar where he drinks. Now that Cleveland's back in the picture, can he finally tell us where he heard it?
The bellhop's name is Sal Russo. He knows every dirty joke ever written.
That's pretty impressive. Maybe if you applied that kind of research in school, he wouldn't be stuck as a bellhop, but hey, to each their own. So the guys ditch the ladies at home and travel to Washington, D.C. to find the bellhop, but somebody doesn't want them to get there.
Ah! What the hell?
I think they're just trying to tell you your taillights out. The guys manage to evade them, but suspicions are now high.
It might be safe to assume that someone does not want us to learn the origin of that joke.
Who would have thought the dirty joke world could be so dirty? So they manage to find the bellhop, but he's not too keen on giving up the source of the joke.
Where'd you hear that dirty joke you told Cleveland?
That's none of your business. Leave me alone.
They should have offered him every bellhop's weakness, a crisp $5 bill. They end up losing him, but get jumped by the same guys who shot at them before.
But little did we know our journey was far from over.
So they're taken across the world to a remote island housing the greatest treasure known to man.
I am the Dean.
The dean of what?
The Dean of the Secret Order of Dirty Joke Writers.
Remember that crass tweet you saw one time? It was probably written by a stuffy man smoking a pipe. So that's neat.
Many of the world's greatest geniuses secretly devote themselves to coming up with the world's dirtiest jokes.
But little do they know that this society must remain a secret, so the guys are thrown into a cell and forbidden to leave.
One of us should pretend we're hurt, and when the guards come in to give him medical attention, we'll jump them.
The key word is pretend. Peter must have missed that part.
Ah! What the hell?
It's great to have you back, Cleveland. It's no bathtub gag, but it'll do. The guys manage to escape, taking the supposedly funniest joke ever written with them and burning the place to the ground.
Look what we did. We destroyed a place that brought joy and laughter to the entire world.
It's like the Library of Alexandria being burned, but for your uncle who makes off-color jokes during the holiday get-togethers. But at least Peter grabbed the funniest joke known to man.
Guess what? Chicken butt.
Yeah, that was worth a pencil to the gut.
Ah! Now take me back to Virginia so I can put some bacitracin on this and pork my wife.
Well, at least Cleveland was able to get the last laugh. His show wouldn't last much longer, so good on him for getting a small victory while he still could. But his past used to be filled with victories, especially when he immigrated to America to play professional baseball in the season 19 episode, Tales of Former Sports Glory. So with the cable out of the clam, the guys decide to entertain themselves with sports stories from their pasts.
Or maybe watch Gilmore Girls. Just as, like a goof.
Joe seems to be ascending to Meg levels of needing to be told to shut up. Thankfully, Cleveland has a yarn to spin.
It all started when I was a young boy.
Last chance on this Gilmore Girls thing.
Please learn to read the room, buddy. Anyways, Cleveland grew up in Havana, Cuba, working in tobacco fields while learning to play baseball.
Our mitts were made of cigars, some of them still going.
Cleveland's dad took him to his first baseball game when he was 9, featuring El Jefe himself, Fidel Castro.
We would write more jokes about him, but our dumb writers only know what he looks like.
Well, at least they're honest about it. Truth be told, that's probably the backstory for most Family Guy jokes now that I think of it.
In Cuba, we hated America so much we copied everything they did and died trying to get there.
And after catching his first baseball, Cleveland realizes the sport may just be his ticket out of the country.
I dreamed of one day playing in the big leagues, so I signed up for a montage to get better.
That was back when montages were cheap. Nowadays, you gotta shell out big money if you want to briskly learn years worth of skill in just a few minutes. But as his mustache grows, so too do his baseball skills.
I was even recruited to play on Cuba's national team, the good in juniors.
But baseball isn't an easy game to get going when your country's hurricane season runs from February to January.
Every time a hurricane would sweep through, decimating the island, causing hundreds of dollars worth of damage.
No wonder people were trying to get off the island. Well, that and the human rights violations, probably.
I loved baseball, but yearned to play in America.
I mean, America couldn't be that much better than a beautiful tropical island, right? I stand corrected. Well, life is a highway, and Cleveland wants to ride it all night long. Also, the writers must really love this song. This is like the third time I've heard it used and the second time I've seen the music video on here. Luckily, Cleveland finds an opportunity to escape when his team plays an away game in Barbados.
Oye, hermano, we can escape to the Cayman Islands.
Cayman my ass, I'm going to America.
Phrasing, Cleveland! Watch the phrasing! Trying not to get demonetized here. So Cleveland and some others take a raft out on the sea, but they're surrounded by rough waters and very smart sharks.
Who is it?
Not a shark?
Exactly the thing a shark would say, but also something everyone else would say too, so I don't know, use your best judgment, I guess.
After a week at sea, we saw the glittering lights of Miami.
Might as well turn around. Miami isn't that good either.
Eventually, I signed a large deal with the Toronto Blue Jays.
But Cleveland quickly learns Major League games are a whole different ballgame. I mean, they're the same ballgame, but longer.
It was 4 hours and 25 minutes long. I was like, what the?
Wow, who knew Cleveland had an impressive sports career under his belt? Unfortunately, it didn't lead to much for him.
Too bad you couldn't hit a home run with the Cleveland show.
Well, it certainly wasn't a whiff.
Or of a foul out.
Dang, guys, he's already lost. No need to keep kicking him while he's down. Does this episode completely screw up the timeline of Cleveland's lore? Sure, but it also reminds us that Cleveland can be quite capable when he wants to be. And Cleveland became more than capable of taking care of the house when he tricked his wife into letting him be lazy in the Cleveland show episode Beer Walk. So Donna isn't too happy with how Cleveland does nothing all weekend while she does everything around the house. Boy, doesn't that relationship dynamic sound familiar.
Look at us, a couple of good-for-nothing lazy bums.
What? You do nothing.
Hey, somebody has to drink all those beers so the cans can be recycled. It isn't an easy job, but Cleveland is brave enough to take it on.
I do everything around here, and I even make time for all my charity work, which is what defines me.
Sorry, Donna, but I had to scroll very far down your wiki page to find anything about charity. But it's true, Cleveland could be doing a lot more. So Cleveland comes up with a charity idea that will still allow him to be lazy.
The 4 of us will hold an event right here where people pledge money for every beer we drink.
Hopefully the money all goes towards researching liver cancer, because it sounds like you may want to look into that when you're done.
It's a beer walk.
So Cleveland's idea pulls in a big crowd, including some familiar faces.
Thanks for coming to get drunk for charity, guys.
Yeah, whatever, Fox is paying us.
It's almost like their appearance on this show is their own form of charity.
As long as this beer walk stunt helps people, I'll put up with it.
Well, the beer walk does end up pulling in $334. Although that's before the impending stomach pump at the hospital.
Hey, y'all wanna see me ride a unicycle drunk off my ass?
Very much so, actually. But Donna stands a bit too close to this charitable, inebriated angel.
God, why?
Good to see the classic Family Guy death pose making its way into other shows. So with Donna broken and laid up, Cleveland's left in charge of cleaning the house.
And take care of the kids. And you'll have to take over my responsibilities with my charity.
Who knew having a family would mean you have to do things for them? Should really pay more attention to the fine print on those marriage documents. So Cleveland takes on all the household tasks, but can't seem to do a single one right.
The laundry, the dinner, Roberta, all unsalvageable disasters.
Don't think this is the time to roast your stepdaughter, but you're probably right. No wonder she hasn't said a word since moving to Family Guy. Feeling something is amiss, Cleveland's friends decide to check in on Donna.
If there's one thing I have experience with, it's women faking it, and I'm gonna prove it!
Probably could have kept that personal bit to yourself, Holt, but it turns out he's right.
I finally get Cleveland to pick up some of the slack around here, and you think you douche-wangs are gonna ruin it?
So Donna threatens the guys to stay away, but I think she forgot about Tim's whole thing.
I'm a bear. I can kill you, maul you, rip your face off.
Yeah, that's a bit easy to forget given the whole funny voice and habit of wearing a shirt but no pants thing. So Donna comes clean to Cleveland. Comes clean to Cleveland.
I realized I'd do every damn thing around this house while you sit on your butt watching sports.
But don't worry, lies are the foundation of all great relationships. So whether it be out of kindness or out of spite, Cleveland turns himself around and becomes a proper house husband.
I should thank you. Being a homemaker is the toughest job I've ever loved.
With her only apparent identity taken away, Donna decides she needs to stand up and take her home back.
Cleveland, let me do what I was born to do. Everything!
Well, she really has to twist his arm, but he agrees to step down. And it's all going according to plan.
Here's to Dum Dum, the love of my life.
So Cleveland managed to trick Donna into taking over the household duties by doing it better than her for a single day. I guess he's not as dumb as we all thought. The man really Googled weaponized incompetence and secured his place as the family's couch potato. But before Cleveland had Donna, he was trying to bounce back from his divorce by getting with a woman he stole from Brian in the season 7 episode Love Blactually. So Brian's got a new girl, Carolyn, who he goes on multiple dates with.
I had a really great time tonight, Brian.
Well, is there any reason it has to end?
Nothing wrong here, just 2 consenting adults. But isn't there someone you forgot to ask?
Don't do it, Brian.
But Brian didn't bring a baby along for his dates like a weirdo. Stewie's been spying on him to make sure he doesn't ruin his chances.
That's why you can't maintain a relationship. You always try too soon and end up blowing it.
I wouldn't say love life advice from a baby is the best you'll find, but Brian decides to listen and slow things down.
What would really set you right is a couple of a leave and a good night's sleep.
Oh.
But you know that saying, slow and steady wins the race? Well, that's BS, and the tortoise was a cheat. Oh yeah, and Carolyn decides to sleep with someone else.
Carolyn? Cleveland?
Oh, hey, Brian. Close that window. You're letting all the stank out.
It looks like divorce has really woken something up in Cleveland. Finally, this man has some mojo.
She started going on about her new Brazilian wax and not wearing any underpants and whatnot.
I mean, from a long-term perspective, Carolyn probably isn't the most faithful woman, but still, good on you for bouncing back, Cleveland.
I just figured if I showed a little restraint, you'd respect me.
I do.
As do I.
And look where respect has gotten you. You had your girl stolen by one of the most boring guys in Quahog. Stewie tries to get Brian's mind off of them, but they aren't making it easy. And Brian isn't even safe when they're not in the same building as him.
Wait a minute, what's this? There appears to be an interracial couple making love on second base.
And that's why baseball is America's sport. Completely fed up, Brian decides to go to Cleveland's ex-wife Loretta to try to get her to take Cleveland back.
Cleveland sent us. He really wants you back.
What? But Loretta says she can't, having caused him too much pain. Oh wow, some actual character growth? It's too bad she has to fall out of a bathtub and die later on. So Cleveland stops by to hash things out with Brian, and they decide to let bygones be bygones. Well, almost.
Good, because we're gonna elope in Hawaii tomorrow night.
What?
You got a problem with that, you can go fuck yourself.
So Brian was trying to take it slow, but Cleveland's marrying this girl after like a week? I've never seen Brian misread the vibes this bad before. But uh-oh, now the ex-wife is back in the picture.
I want us to be together again as a family, and I promise I'll never betray you again.
Cleveland must have swallowed a magnet, cause this guy pulls. But Peter worries that Loretta will just break Cleveland's heart again, so he enlists Quagmire to sleep with her to prove she's no good.
Come on, baby, time for round 2.
But the only banging she does with him involves an iron. If only more women would do that to Quagmire.
I'm a changed woman. I don't mess with your kind anymore.
And it turns out that Cleveland still loves her too.
But I can't take you back.
Why not?
So while he does love her, it's not the same kind of love he has for Carolyn. I stress again, this is the woman he's been with for what feels like less than a month.
And as much as I still have a great deal of love for you, our time is over.
Honestly, he handles this very respectfully and maturely. He's gonna make Carolyn a happy woman, unless someone gets there first.
Oh my god, Carolyn? Quagmire!
Well, there goes that dream. At least he still has his friendship with his neighbor's dog. That's something. Barely anything and practically nothing, but it's something. But his friendship with said neighbor was tested when he found his calling in ping pong, making Peter jealous and leading to an epic showdown in the episode Prescription Heroine. So Peter's cleaning junk out of his garage that he no longer needs.
Peter, you're throwing this ping pong table out? Can I have it?
Sure, it's all yours.
Forget the table, the Peter copter's up for grabs. I'd refinance my kids to get my hands on that. I would have kids for the sole purpose of refinancing them so I could become that copter's new owner. But Peter's surprised to see Cleveland has refurbished the table and is holding games on his front lawn.
Wow, Cleveland, looks like you got the most popular place on the block. You really fixed this thing up.
It's like those houses that put a bowl of water out for dogs that pass by. Everyone is gonna want to get in on the action. But the sound of pings ponging starts to get to Peter.
God, that's annoying.
Jealousy is the thief of joy, Peter. Don't be that guy.
It's okay. I'm sure that noise won't make me go insane.
Insane like Jack Torrance in The Shining insane? Sorry, I hate to have to do this to you, but The Simpsons totally did it first. So Peter tries to convince people to ditch this crummy old game.
I'm just saying ping pong's not bad, but I'll tell you what's better. Foosball.
I'd have to disagree. It always feels like you need at least 3 hands to be good at that game.
Hey y'all, come and get your A&W cream soda floats.
Games and snacks? Cleveland might just put every amusement park out of business if he keeps this up.
Thank you so much, Cleveland, for taking care of my ping pong table for the last few days. I'll be taking it back now.
Peter, you dare defy the ancient mantra of no takesies backsies. The gods will not take kindly to your heretical ways. And neither will the people, as Peter's pretty much shamed into giving up. So under the cover of night, Peter, or Mr. Twinkletoes to be more accurate, sneaks over to the table with sinister intentions.
What took you so long?
You dragged all that stuff out to your lawn just waiting for this moment?
Yeah, Peter, because revealing yourself with a lamp is the single coolest thing you can do. You wouldn't know that with your no ping pong table having self.
You're acting like a child.
No, I'm not!
So let's solve this like children. A game of ping pong for the table.
So as the sun rises and the referee takes his place, the greatest battle Quahog has seen since the last time that giant chicken was around commences. And so their battle rages on as ping pong balls fly, sweat falls, and the montage is intercut with what I can only assume is a jazz concert set in the Mad Max world. Okay, it's actually from the Lost Boys, but come on, does that not look like a wasteland rave? So anyway, after 5 minutes of pure testosterone, the men make it to the final serve.
All right, Peter. Game point.
But after seeing how much the table means to him, Cleveland decides to give Peter the easiest serve ever. And Peter, being the alpha athlete that he is, blows it. He blows it big time. Both men apologize for letting the table come between their friendship, and everyone goes home disappointed. It didn't cost anything to watch that game, but if it was gonna end in a draw, I'd still want my money back. And I'm sure Cleveland wanted his money back on a friend's trip gone wrong that he designed after Peter gave him the cold shoulder in the Cleveland Show episode, BFFs. So Cleveland is a little peeved that his friends didn't realize he was sick.
We were just so busy with Peter Griffin being in town, you know?
Animation Domination's Peter Griffin was here!
The very same. Turns out he was in Stolben for 4 days and never hit Cleveland up once.
Peter's my best friend. Why would he not call me?
Well, that's embarrassing because I don't think you're his best friend. He might be like third or so. An insufferable dog ranks higher than you. Man, that's gotta hurt. But Cleveland isn't bitter or anything. No, he's just gonna take a casual midnight drive all the way to Rhode Island for unrelated reasons.
Brian, it's Cleveland.
Oh, hi Cleveland. Has he been cancelled already?
Nope, but he's getting there.
Peter!
Come on, come on!
Peter, it's Cleveland!
Oh, I think he knows that. I just don't think he cares. So Peter pretty bluntly states why he didn't call him.
But I thought we were friends.
We were neighbors and drinking buddies. We weren't friends.
Ouch, that's probably the meanest I've seen Peter be, and I've watched him beat up Meg. So after that embarrassment, Cleveland starts questioning his other friendships.
Now I'm wondering if maybe you guys aren't my friends either.
You bite your tongue, or I'll bite it for you.
So Cleveland wants to do some bonding with them and is enticed by a friendship camp sponsored by pro wrestler Ric Flair. If there's anyone that gets male-on-male bonding, it's a wrestler.
There are 3 things I know: divorce, wrestling, and enduring male friendship.
And so the guys try it out, enjoying nature's fresh air, the calming water, and the natural wildlife.
Goose! Lice! All birds have lice!
That's actually no joke. Birds can carry lice, so he's a little justified in being a huge pansy. But his reckless swinging sends the group up the creek without a paddle. Oh, and without a canoe, food, and equipment.
Well, this seems as good a place as any to die.
The wilderness really does bring out the worst in people. You want someone to never talk to you again? Just take them camping.
Just because your fat friend didn't call you, we're gonna die in the woods. You're on your own.
But the locals may have different ideas.
Now, which one of you wants to be my first girlfriend?
But before they can do girlfriend things, like wear each other's hoodies I'm guessing, Cleveland manages to escape.
Oh no! The rednecks got them! Oh, they're bottoms! They're poor, poor bottoms!
Oh, so that's what they were planning. Man, I wish they let me watch Bottoms with them. He's not talking about the 2023 movie, is he?
Guys, it's me. I've come back to save you.
And immediately get caught again. You never were good at the hero role, were you?
Guys, I'm sorry I wanted to be friends with you. Male friendship is not about emotions.
It's true, I don't even know the last names of my friends. It's better this way. But before the rednecks have their way, Peter comes crashing in.
Looks like it's 4 against 1.
4 against 2.
Aw, he really does care. And wait a minute, is that the evil monkey?
Thanks for your help, monkey. Rip their faces and nuts off.
Now that's how you do a cameo. Peter reveals that he finally worked through his abandonment issues stemming from his father and realized Cleveland really is his BFF.
I'm sorry, Cleveland. You're my friend.
That's all well and good, but it's kinda wild that Cleveland managed to get one-upped in his own show, right? Like, Peter's in the show for like 2 minutes and instantly makes it memorable. Regardless, it was sweet to see Cleveland's more vulnerable side, and thankfully Peter got there in time before those hillbillies got to see his really vulnerable side. But Cleveland got his moment to be a hero, even if it was just a retelling of a great action movie in the Cleveland Show episode, Die Semi-Hard. So Cleveland has his family recreating the nativity on their front lawn, which boils down to dressing up and not moving for hours?
Cleveland, my buzz is wearing off, and now I don't know why I agreed to this.
She could mean this activity or their whole marriage, honestly. So Cleveland decides to ease their suffering with A Christmas Story.
This best not start when the year was 1988. The year was 1988.
He's a few centuries off from the story of Jesus, so he must be retelling the second greatest Christmas story, Die Hard.
What's wrong, fellow traveler? You look nervous.
This is our first parody.
And as fate would have it, their only parody. So Cleveland lands in California for his wife's office Christmas party, and he's apparently been a little butthurt about her making more money than him.
I think tonight's Christmas party might be my chance to make it up to her.
Let's be honest here, the holidays can either make you love or hate your family, so I'd say he has a 50-50 chance. But before he can make it up to her, the party gets hijacked.
Hi, we're the bad guys. Tell me, which one of you is CEO Lloyd Waterman?
The commotion gets Cleveland's attention, who overhears their plan to rob the company's vault. Glad he dressed up for the party. No shoes and a wife beater? No wonder his wife hates him.
1, 2, 3.
Cool, just kill the guy who has the codes to the vault. What's a little murder charge on top of your kidnapping charges? Cleveland manages to take down one of the henchmen, but let's be real, gravity does most of the work. Cleveland tries to alert the authorities, but considering it's Christmas Eve, they send what I assume is their bench warmer.
Are there terrorists shooting guns here?
No, no one's here at all.
As a cop on Christmas, that's all I need to hear.
When you can't count on the cops, you can at least depend on a schlubby ex-cop with no shoes. Cleveland manages to get the jump on the mastermind, but some slick accent work saves him.
What's your name?
Poop. Poop.
Ah yes, from the office of Richard Poop. Checks out. But he doesn't keep up the charade for long.
We're on the 26th floor.
Oh, you're the terrorist!
Yeah, great job, detective. No wonder he got canned from the force. Cleveland manages to escape for now, but the FBI arrives and cuts the power to the whole building.
Shut it down.
With the power out, Cleveland brawls with the terrorists to find out more about their hostage plan.
They took all them hostages to the roof and they's gonna blow them up.
If you're wondering how that makes them more money, don't worry, I am too. But Cleveland manages to save them just before the roof is blown up. At least it gives him an opportunity to look cool. Cleveland makes it back to Tim, who has now taken Donna hostage. But luckily, Cleveland has one last trick taped to his back.
Donna!
Good God, man! There wasn't anything else you could use instead of industrial-grade tape? Tim manages to hold on by a hair. Well, technically several hairs.
Just pull the pins out!
You crazy? I paid a fortune for this wig!
Yeah, but your scalp is about to look like Cleveland's back if you don't. Thankfully, she listens and Tim plummets to his death. And when Cleveland finally exits the building, he gets to meet the cop he's been talking to.
You were no help at all.
I know.
Look, the movie's only big enough for one unlikely hero. I stand corrected. I guess the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a mostly useless guy with a gun who gets lucky. And that concludes this retelling of Die Hard, which is one of the few times Cleveland has actually looked competent and capable. It's too bad it didn't really happen, but whatever, it's Christmas, we'll give him a pass on this one. But when Cleveland and his family moved back to Quahog, he and Peter actually became heroes to save their friendship against their wives' wishes in the season 12 episode, He's Black. So the guys are hanging out at the clam, just talking about your usual guy things.
Last night, Bonnie and I got really kinky. She painted my toenails.
This is why we don't let Joe initiate conversations. Can we talk about anything else?
What's up?
Ooh, spinoff didn't work out too well, huh?
Here's 4 seasons worth of DVDs of what we've been up to. You know, just so you're back up to speed.
So Cleveland's back, which means we gotta update the intro.
What's happening?
They want me in the line.
Well, where do I go?
Home?
Look, Mort, if you didn't make it into the central friend group by now, you should have known your days were numbered. Anyways, Cleveland and his new family move back to his old house, but it's not quite how they left it.
Home sweet home?
Dang, the old tenants really did a number on this place. Note to self, never rent a place out to Ryan Reynolds, Chevy Chase, or Dan Aykroyd. But through the power of friendship, the house starts to look like a home. Even the kids are starting to bond.
Do you have any folding chairs?
No.
That's all right, I'll use this. Folding chair!
That kind of slapstick doesn't fly up in stool bend, so Donna puts her foot down. Well, actually her hand down on Chris's butt.
What are you doing?
Making sure you learn your lesson.
Ow, it hurt!
Yeah, but knowing Chris, he's probably gonna learn to like it eventually. However, Lois doesn't take too kindly to someone else parenting her kid.
Peter, this is serious. A woman hit our child. What is wrong with her?
Yeah, how dare Donna have different parenting styles to Lois, who is so well known for her perfect parenting? Unfortunately, simply talking doesn't seem to solve this.
And maybe I wouldn't have to discipline your child if you did it yourself.
How dare you, ma'am? The Griffin children are well-behaved, responsible, and why is Stewie on the roof?
Stewie, you get down from there this instant.
Munch me, bitch!
So the wives forbid their families from hanging out with each other, and that includes the husbands.
We just gotta hang out where there's no chance we'll be seen. You know, keep it a secret.
Makes sense. So why was one of Peter's first ideas to play a cop?
This is just so we can talk without getting spotted by Lois or Donna.
Because nothing avoids attracting attention like a very obvious hate crime.
Oh, stay down! Ow. Cleveland, try to grab my gun. Oh, trying to grab my gun, are you? Ow! Ow!
But Lois isn't fooled, so it looks like the only way to fix this is to repair Lois and Donna's friendship. That sounds like a ball of fire asking a barrel of gunpowder for a hug.
Nothing bonds women together like having to take care of invalid husbands in a hospital.
What?
Don't die.
Yeah, good thing he told him not to, otherwise he probably would have.
I'm gonna hate those Griffins forever.
Only my side had airbags.
So if a near-death experience didn't work, then maybe Peter and Cleveland just aren't meant to be friends again.
You're my three-legged race partner.
Suddenly, Peter remembers all the good times they had together. Wow, really makes you realize how little impact Cleveland had on the show. But these two buddies will not be separated.
Cleveland, what do you think you're doing?
Peter's right. We're friends, and that's that.
Peter and Cleveland are smoking these nerds, but Mother Earth seeks to challenge them.
Ah!
But if you think they're gonna give up on this race that has no prize, you're sorely mistaken.
Hug and roll!
And it's this display of crotch-to-crotch friendship that convinces the wives to put their differences aside.
Friends.
This was nice to see Cleveland back where he belongs, even giving him a more prominent role in the story, which was pretty rare before he left. And it was even more rare back in season 4, but Cleveland did get the chance to fight for his dignity after his wife cheated on him with his best friend in the episode The Cleveland-Loretta Quagmire. So during a nice little sunset boat ride, Quagmire and Loretta have a bit of an awkward interaction.
Hey, can I have my fish back?
Oh, you gonna have to reach into the cookie jar.
Seriously, who keeps a fish in a cookie jar? These Rhode Islanders are weirdos, man.
Loretta, they have some of that 3-bean salad you're so fond of. Hey, Quagmire.
Well, I'm not sure if Cleveland's molasses brain fully registered what was going on, but it sure does seem like a green light for these two degenerates. And they really don't wait very long.
Hey, do you hear that?
What?
Sounds like someone's screaming.
Yeah, forget getting a room. They need to get their own planet where no one can hear them.
Holy crap.
We should go.
Not knowing who the man was, Peter and Brian break the news to the neighbors.
Any idea who it was, Peter?
No, we didn't see his face.
All we know is it's a skinny white guy with a tattoo on his left butt cheek.
Well, as a heavyset black guy, Quagmire definitely won't have anything to worry about. Luckily, Cleveland has a friend like Peter who can deliver this bad news gently.
Your wife's cheating on you.
What?
Yeah, he's about as gentle as a ball peen hammer. Heh, peen.
She was with some guy going bam, 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 bam.
Peter, maybe...
Hey, hang on, I'm not done. Bam, bam, bam.
Thank you, Peter, for the colorful description. I'm sure Cleveland needed that. And it's not made any better for Cleveland when Loretta's a little too honest as he confronts her.
I'm a woman, Cleveland. I need some passion in my life.
You mean you aren't all hot and bothered by a man who talks like this?
I apologize.
Apologize? I cheat on you and you apologize to me?
So she kicks him out of the house, and Cleveland decides to shack up with the Griffins until he can figure out how to grow a backbone.
What he needs right now is a revenge lay, and I know just who to talk to.
So they pop by Quagmire's, and wouldn't you know it, he's got the butt tattoo. $50 well spent, I'm sure.
Please don't tell Cleveland.
Well, all right, Quagmire. Cleveland, Quagmire's sleeping with your wife.
There really is no honesty or loyalty in this group, huh?
It's okay.
It's okay? It's okay to be betrayed by your wife and best friend?
I mean, if anything, they've done Cleveland a favor. He's too pure for that kind of negativity in his life. So Peter tries to light a fire under Cleveland by role-playing as the two, which somehow actually works.
Glenn Quagmire, you're dead!
Word spreads to Quagmire, who tries to invite Cleveland over so they can talk this through. But you know what punctuates a sentence best? A baseball bat.
You violated the sanctity of my marriage.
So Cleveland wrecks Quagmire's house, showing off his extensive and not at all creepy collection of secret beds. But when he gets his shot at Quagmire, Cleveland backs down.
It isn't in me to cause harm to anyone, no matter how much someone has harmed me.
Very mature of you, Cleveland, though I do think you're owed one good punch to the jaw. It helps build character.
Loretta, what you did was unforgivable. This marriage is over.
Sure, his marriage went down the toilet, but this was probably Cleveland's most significant moment in the show. It really paved the way for him to come into his own as an enjoyable personality that studio execs actually believed could carry his own show. Sounds like genuine insanity to me, but it just shows how impactful this moment was for the character of Cleveland Brown. And that's our list. Let us know what your favorite Cleveland moments are down in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to catch more great Family Guy videos.